T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
All gas, all Lakers.
The Grammy road trip keeps rolling for its 8th and final stop as the Lake Show hits Brooklyn tomorrow at Barclays.
Back to Marcus Smart. Alley-oop LeBron. Reverse dunk over his head, and the Lakers putting on a show.
Your Los Angeles Lakers come face-to-face with the Brooklyn Nets. Coverage begins tomorrow at 3 p.m.
The Lake Show lives here. 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station. This is Lakers Talk on 710 ESPN.
Yesterday in the Big Apple, the purple and gold went into Madison Square Garden looking for another big road win, but fell to one of the hottest teams in the league.
And that's the end of the ball game. Final score, Knicks 112 and the Lakers 100.
Did enough throughout the game to put ourselves in a position to play to win at the end. But yeah, their shooting killed us and our shooting didn't help us.
The 8-game Grammy road trip hits Brooklyn tomorrow for its final stop before heading home on Thursday.
I can only speak to the group that we have here. We're 29-19 right now. We've had some really good moments. We have some not so good moments. We want to continue to try to build off of that. Me speaking on anything other than that is not it's not my pay grade.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
And all new Lakers Talk is on right now.
Here's Andy Kamenetzky.
What is up, Laker fans? This is Lakers Talk. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you, as always, for being with us as we move about. 710 ESPN is obviously the home of the Lakers, but also home of the Rams, home of the Kings, USC, the random bowl game that you've never heard of that sounds made up but does actually exist. The NFL Combine. Like, we carry a lot of stuff.
That 40-yard dash, huh?
The 40-yard dash that everybody reads way too much into and then overdrafts or underdrafts somebody depending on their ability to run 40 straight yards that you will never have to do in an actual game. But we carry all of that here, which means Lakers Talk and me and Funchy and DeAndre, we move about, but you are always here with us. It is always appreciated. A lot to get into. The trade deadline approaching this Thursday, noon Pacific. Different questions, and specifically different questions that I think the Lakers need to be asking and that we will talk about. What should the Lakers do? What can the Lakers do? And what will the Lakers do? I think those are three very different questions. We're going to have a lot of big coverage of the trade deadline right here on 710 ESPN. Rockin' Brews and El Segundo. We're going to have back-to-back shows live there. I will be part of the Mason and Ireland extravaganza. Me, Mace, and O'Shea Jackson Jr. swinging by, the star of the Den of Thieves franchise.
Just watch part 2. Really good.
Yeah, I did just watch. I've seen now part 2 twice, I believe. I've seen it. I'm a big fan of the Den of Thieves franchise in general. I love low-rent, scummy crime. Particularly low-rent, scummy crime set in Los Angeles. That is like one of my go-to genres. He's also the star of the upcoming movie, The Shafeeds. I cannot spell it out for you. You can Google it yourself. O'Shea Jackson Jr., Dave Franco, their new movie. I've seen actually been playing at some of the festivals, and I've been seeing some good reviews. It's a comedy, apparently a pretty out-there comedy with O'Shea Jackson Jr. and Dave Franco. And then DeMarco and Travis will be coming on afterwards. Again, Thursday, Rockin' Brews, El Segundo trade deadline coverage all day. LeBron James has been named a Western Conference all-star reserve along with Ant, Chet Holmgren, KD, Jamal Murray, Denny Avdia, Devin Booker. Was this deserved? Was it a charity case? A sign maybe that the league knows something that the rest of us don't? Going to get into that. Austin Reaves still has not returned to action despite J.J. Redick saying that he expected Austin to be back at some point of this road trip. There's only one game left of this 8-game roadie. That's tomorrow night versus the Nets in Brooklyn. That can be heard right here on 710 ESPN. Pregame coverage begins with Beto Duran at 3 o'clock. Then John Ireland, Michael Thompson with the call at 4:30. The postgame coverage, again with Beto. All games can be heard right here on 710 ESPN. But Austin's been upgraded for the last couple games to questionable, gone through a pregame workout, treated as a game-time decision. Then they've decided not to play him. What is up with that? So anything to be concerned about, annoyed about? We will get into that. Yovan Buha is going to swing by at 6:30. He's covered the Lakers for several years. Now with his Buha's Block podcast and also the Lakers Collective podcast, knows the Lakers extremely well. So we're going to get into his thoughts about the trade deadline, also last night versus the Knicks, plus your calls at 213-799-0139. Worst number ever. Cannot remember that number to save my life. We had the greatest one before. I cannot wait to get it back. I hope we can get it back. But 213-799-0139 is the number. But we begin last night, lost at the Garden to the Knicks. 112-100, another double-digit loss. Not necessarily an embarrassing double-digit loss. Like, the Knicks are playing really well. They're now on a 6-game winning streak. They got 2 All-Stars and Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. But and there were some things the Lakers, I think, did reasonably well in this game. But it felt to me, and DeAndre, feel free to weigh in on anything you agree, disagree, whatever, but a loss that reinforced a lot of what we know about and have seen with this team the entire season. The offense is supposed to be this team's calling card, the bedrock to create the best version of itself, and it's too inconsistent. And it comes and goes, too many quarters, too many halves, particularly against good defenses, will devolve into iso ball. We will often see DeAndre Ayton get ignored, as I think what happened in the second half of this game. He began 4 of 4, finished 6 of 6, 13 points. His third quarter usage, 0.0. DeAndre Ayton had a third quarter usage, according to NBA.com's metrics, of 0.0. And predictably, he ends up then floating through the second half of that game. I'm not saying it as an excuse for Ayton, but at the same time, I think it does reinforce the idea of, if you're not going to be trying to get the points and sort of the counting stats from DeAndre Ayton, you're not going to be satisfied with the other stuff. Like, DeAndre Ayton is not a little things player. Like, for better or for worse, that ain't who he is. You got to try to play to the strengths of the roster you have. Team shot 29% from behind the arc. Luka was 5 of 14, which I think is barely high enough to justify that volume. Rest of the team was 7 of 28. The Knicks, stop me if you've heard this before, did really well from behind the arc against this defense. 42%, DeAndre.
That's right, baby. Landry Shamet, 6 for 10. Getting beat by Landry Shamet, 23 points off the bench.
Landry Shamet tore them apart. Landry Shamet had more points himself than the entire bench. He had 23 points. He had more points than the entire bench in non-garbage time minutes. Like, Rui Hachimura had 11 points. The rest of the
Vincent had 8. Vando had 1, and I believe someone else had 1.
Well, that was Maxi Kleber, I believe.
That's right.
But that was in the garbage time minutes. So the Lakers bench in actual minutes, 21 points. Landry Shamet, 23. Advantage Shamet. Damn it, Shamet.
That's the flaw right there.
Mm-hmm.
That is the flaw, is that the Lakers' second unit, when it comes to seeing where else they can get that scoring from, which Rui, I do believe, has been doing a great job coming off the bench. He has.
For the most part, yes.
For the most part. And he actually has been playing solid defense. You know, he's actually able to keep guys in front. He hasn't been a liability on the defensive end of the floor for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's not going to be a shutdown guy. That's not what you expect from Rui, but I agree with you. I think he has been engaged. I think he has been trying. I think he is still too often asked to guard guys he has no business guarding, and then shock of all shocks, we don't like the results.
Exactly.
But this is also in part the roster composition and the weaknesses of this team. You got too many offensive guys who aren't reliable defensively. You've got too many defensive guys who are not reliable offensively. Also part of, the Lakers formula, they gave up way too many rebounds, way too many offensive rebounds in particular, too many second-chance points, too many points in the paint. The Lakers is a good team. They're good. They're 10 games above 500 with a lot of injuries. Luka, LeBron, and Austin have only played together 8 games, which is insane. But they're not a great team, and they have too many weaknesses, I think, to really become a great team as presently constructed. Like, they're 20-8 against teams below 500, and that's important. Like, they are beating the teams you are supposed to beat. They have only had a couple of losses against really bad teams. And remember, too, some of these teams, their record may have been different at the time where it is compared to where it is now. But they're 9-11 against teams above 500. Them and the Wolves are the only teams in the top 6 of the West who are below 500 against teams above 500. And the Wolves have also been all over the place. So, again, this loss in and of itself is not terrible. The Knicks are a good team. They're playing really well. It's in their building. But it is a continuation of what we've seen all season, particularly without Austin Reaves, who remains unavailable. And coming up, I want to talk a bit about, should this be concerning to Laker fans, but also, too, like, should this just be annoying to Laker fans? Also get into LeBron James and his all-star reserve nod, charity case, deserved as a fringe NBA player who's also a legend, sign that the NBA knows something that we don't know. 213-799, is that 213-799-0139? That's the number if you want to call in.
213-799-0139.
Rolls right off the tongue. Again, Yovan Buha coming by at 6:30. This is Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
Mason and Ireland, the OGs of LA Sports Radio.
You know, I minored in interpretive dance.
At Bowling Green?
At Bowling Green.
Did you really?
No. Was there some part of you that believed that? Wait a minute. Was there some part of you that believed that?
Here's why.
Okay.
As John Ireland would say, and here's why.
Yeah.
You were a pop culture major.
Pop culture major
when you
with
were
a minor in interpretive dance.
I was going to say, when you are a pop culture major, similar to how I was a theater major for a little while, when you choose that type of, some would say, useless major, at that point, the minor is just gravy. Like, you might as well do interpretive dance as your minor.
I don't even think I had a minor. I had a major. I don't think I had a minor. Bowling Green, by the way, has a college of pop culture.
Mason and Ireland, weekdays at noon on 710 ESPN, the all-new ESPN LA app, and live on YouTube.
Introducing Los Angeles' new most trusted injury hotline.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob 1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill? Because it's just better for you. Our Asian-inspired menu has high-quality proteins that are healthier for you. Like hormone-free chicken, ribeye steak, wild-caught salmon, and shrimp. Introducing our new Chili Crisp Dumplings, a spicy twist on a Waba favorite. Bold, crunchy, and tossed, and fiery. Chili Crisp. That's our new Chili Crisp Dumplings. Get them today, only at Waba Grill. It's for you.
I know you're listening to me wearing glasses or contacts. You're either nearsighted, farsighted, have astigmatism, or you're just over 45 and have to wear reading glasses. This is Dr. Sarudi, and I promise you, I can help you with any of these issues. No anesthesia, no pain, no downtime, and if you qualify, I'll even guarantee you with 20/20 or better vision or give your money back. I've never had to after 60,000 cases. Call 855-NOW-2020. 855-NOW-2020. That's 855-669-2020.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
For 100 days, I'm going to cross the 7 continents because the answers to everything important are out there at the edges of our world. I'm stepping into the unknown. Where are we going? To see our planet as it's never been seen before. From pole to pole.
Pole to Pole with Will Smith from National Geographic. Now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Show me the way. 710 ESPN.
The radio home of the purple and gold and the home of Lakers talk.
To be able to be an all-star, means a lot to, my family, my people that's been following my career, my LeBron faithful.
Even in year 23, the King is still doing his thing at an all-star level.
The coaches voted, right? Mad respect to the coaches and, them seeing, I'm still playing at this, latter stage of my career.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
Start spreading the news.
Too soon. Too soon, DeAndre. Although, I guess it could be the look ahead to the Nets.
They're still in New York.
They're still in New York.
They're going to be in New York for like 2 or 3 days, right?
That is true. The Lakers, they're going to be in there for at least one more day. Because, they're coming home the next day. They play the Sixers on Thursday.
But they've been there for 2 or 3 days.
They've been there for a couple days. They lost to the Knicks last night. 112-100 Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetzky, ESPN LA 7.
Maybe they did like the Home Alone in the hotel room and got like a bunch of ice cream, like that big ice cream thing Sunday.
They do have some pretty big ass. They get some big ass per diems. These guys.
I know they do. Oh, believe me, I do. I know, my man.
You hear tell.
I heard tell.
You hear tell. Reminder: we're going to hear from Yovan Buha in about 15 minutes. Buha's block. He's covered the Lakers for quite some time. Knows the team really well. So around 6:30, Yovan Buha's coming up again. 213-799-0139 if you want to weigh in. Before getting to LeBron and this question of his Western Conference All-Star reserve nod, did mention Austin Reaves now. It's been 2 games in a row where Austin has been listed as questionable after J.J. Redick said that they were pretty confident, like very confident. This was something they brought up proactively, that he was going to play on this road trip at some point. And technically, they are still within the window of Austin Reaves playing. They got one more game tomorrow against the Nets. 4:30 local tip. Obviously, that can be heard right here on 710 ESPN. And maybe he does end up playing. And again, if he does, great, they hit the window. But I do think it is really odd, and I think it's also just kind of indicative of how this franchise over the last several years has handled, if not the maintenance of injuries, because I'm not a doctor. I can't say whether or not they're doing a good job of this, bad job of this, whatever. But the messaging with injuries and recoveries and returns, unless you knew Austin for sure was going to be back by now, like for sure, I don't know why they said anything at all. Like, we were still in the original reevaluation window of his return. Like, he got hurt on Christmas. We heard, I believe, the next day or within 2 days, 4 to 6 weeks for a reevaluation. We're still in that. I don't know why they said anything, in all honesty, because all they did now was, like, whether for fans or I think possibly even teammates, you build up and for Austin, you build up this expectation that he could be back. And twice he's warmed up, done these drills where, I know people who cover the team say, looks great, he wants to play, then he ends up not playing. You either create the perception that the training staff is being too conservative with this, in which case, why not just let him go for like another week, right before, let him play a game or two before the All-Star break, then he gets that break, or just be quiet about it and just say, we're not sure when he's going to be back, but things are progressing well. Like, I just think it's strange that they do it like this.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting to at least come back. Maybe I assumed maybe not. If it wasn't going to be earlier before that, then I assumed that he wasn't going to play in the Knicks game. And it's already getting down to the end of the road trip. So at this point, just sit out. Just wait till after All-Star break at this point.
Or just say we think he's going to be back before the All-Star break, and then if he happens to come back on the road trip, awesome. Then he is ahead of the schedule that you are laying out. Like, unless you are confident that he's going to play more than one game on this, and probably the one that you need him for least against the Nets, unless you just are treating it like a tune-up game.
But it is a calf strain, right?
Right.
It is the year to calf strain.
But that's the thing. Nobody would fault them for being super cautious anyway. That's the thing. Like, nobody would fault. I honestly didn't think he was going to be back before the All-Star game anyway, just because he's already had one calf strain. It's the year of the calf strain. This reminds me of how Kendrick Nunn was like day-to-day for a year.
Stealing money.
Under promise, over deliver. It's the number one hallmark of sales and marketing and anything. Under promise, over deliver. Because if Austin had come back like against the Sixers or this weekend against the Warriors, people would have been excited. It would have felt like a normal window to return. It would have felt great. But now you got people, I think now people are wondering, like, is this a setback? Is this anything? It's just strange. Not strange to me is that LeBron James was named an All-Star reserve. That came out, it was Sunday, correct? They announced it
Sunday, yes.
During the NBC.
Right before the game.
Right before the Knicks broadcast. You've got LeBron, Jamal Murray, Chet Holmgren, Denny Avdia, Ant, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. Those are your Western Conference All-Star reserves. What that even means, I have no idea, because we're doing these 3-team USA versus World. I don't know what any of this even means anymore.
And it doesn't look like everything's balanced, too.
I have no idea what they're doing. Like, I keep giving them the obvious solution. Pick a bunch of stars, play a basketball game, log off Twitter, don't listen to Barkley or Shaq, don't listen to the eggs, count your money. It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. But anyway, LeBron is on this team, and that obviously has been a source of great debate and whether or not he deserved this, and was this a charity case? Was this, is this perhaps a sign that the league thinks this could be LeBron's last time out or whatever? I consider LeBron a fringy all-star. Do I think he made it purely on merits? No, I don't. Do I think he's a ridiculous inclusion? No, I don't. I think he's on the lower end of fringy. But I think he is a worthy fringy all-star. And if they're breaking the tie, like for guys on the bubble, if one of the criteria is this could be the last all-star game that we can even sort of plan an appearance for one of the all-time greats in this game. Like, the hope is, knock on wood, LeBron can get through the next 6 games without getting injured. And then he plays in this all-star game, probably not a ton of minutes, but you have him there. This may be the last time they can plan for it, whether because the league knows, or at least highly senses, he's going to retire after this season, or they think he's going to play one more year, but you can't map this out another year from now for a guy that is 42 years old. So I don't have an issue with it. Like, do I think there are guys that were more deserving on that bubble? Sure. I think Albert Şengün was more deserving. I think James Harden was more deserving. I think Kawhi Leonard was definitely more deserving. I've got a different conspiracy theory involving the latter two guys that I will get into. But these ties get broken for different criteria all the time. I don't have an issue with it. JJ in Belmont Shores, you're on Lakers Talk. What's up, JJ?
Hey, Mr. Andy, how are you, sir?
Good, man.
Thank you.
Good.
Listen, you were talking about the deadline coming up, and we saw last night what Shumpert did, and we need a Shumpert at the deadline. I'm going to throw a couple names like Michael Porter Jr. You're going to see him. We're going to see him tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, they could talk to him after the game. And then Kennard in Atlanta.
Are you talking a Shumpert just purely as a shooter?
We need a three-point shooter.
Okay, I'm just because Shumpert was a better defender. The reason I'm asking is, like, are you talking about Shamet or Shumpert?
Shamet.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, Shamet.
Okay, that's why I was confused. I'm like, are you talking about like an Iman Shumpert type? Okay,
My bad.
I get it now. I get
I'm
it now.
sorry.
All good.
I'm
All
sorry.
good. All good. All good. Yeah, they
We
could use
need a
more
shooter, and other than when LeBron goes to Cleveland next year, and we get one of those, Tyson or Merrill or Donovan Mitchell, hey, we'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the call there, JJ. They need shooters. They need defense. They need athleticism. They need a lot, this roster. And they don't have a lot of pieces to try to make that happen. Like, putting aside whether or not their grand vision of what they want at the deadline and what they're thinking about in the offseason even allows them to make certain moves, or in their minds, like, it would prevent them from making certain moves because they've got a vision for how they want to do this and they don't want to take on certain money, whatever. We're going to get deep into the trade deadline in hour two, just so everyone's aware. 7 to 8, we're going to go heavy trade deadline. So, again, 213-799-0139 if you want to call in with trade deadline suggestions, questions, whatever. We're going to go deep into the deadline in hour two. But they've got a lot of needs for this roster, and they do not have a lot of avenues to make big moves to really transform this roster. I think, like, significantly transform it before the deadline. I also think it's a relevant question as to whether or not this roster is good enough or worthy to make major all-in moves to begin with. That and other things are what I'm going to talk about with Yovan Buha from Buha's Block, covers the Lakers for several years. He's going to be joining me next. This is Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
¡Ay, qué carrera y finalización increíble!
Witness Luis Figo and the Real Madrid Leyendas live. For the first time ever in LA, the icons of FC Barcelona and Real Madrid take the pitch at BMO Stadium. Watch the Legend Series, FC Barcelona versus Real Madrid, live in LA on February 22nd at BMO Stadium. For tickets and exclusives, go to wearehouseofheroes.com.
For a century, the Genesis Invitational has stood as one of golf's greatest stages, where the game's legends make their mark and history is written.
It's official. The round that will long be remembered. Oh, yes! Ludwig Oberg.
February 19th through 22nd, celebrate 100 years of championship golf. Experience the drama, the tradition, and the moments that define the Genesis Invitational. Get your tickets now at genesisinvitational.com.
Hey guys, it's Mace. Quick PSA here. Forgetting Valentine's Day flowers is not the move. Trust me, this is why I go with the Bouquet Company. Every time. Bouquet delivers modern bouquets fresh to them. Use my code ESPN. Get 25% off. Bouquet's flowers are cut fresh from the best farms in the world, so you get bigger, brighter blooms that last way longer. They've got incredible flowers, even roses grown on the side of a volcano. And the best part? Bouquet makes it easy. Pick the bouquet, the delivery date, and bam, you're done. No last-minute panic. That's why Bouquet has over 50,000 five-star reviews. And listen, even if she says, don't get me anything, That doesn't mean no flowers. Flowers still score every single time. Valentine's Day, February 14th, right after the big game. So don't fumble this. Order now. Go to Books.com. Use my promo code ESPN for 25% off. That's BOUQS.com. Promo code ESPN. Books. Promo code ESPN.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
More Lakers talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
After a tough loss at Madison Square Garden yesterday, LeBron still has confidence in his squad as they battle through the injuries.
I like this group, but we gotta get better. Going, 48 games now? It's a tough Western Conference. It's a tough league. It's been tough, all season as far as, dealing with injuries, guys in, guys out. It's kind of hard to see what we can really, truly be.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today. And all new Lakers Talk is on right now.
Back to Andy Kamenetzky.
Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, ESPN LA 710. Very excited to bring on from New York, where he has been part of this Lakers road trip, Yovan Buha. He has covered the Lakers for several years with outlets like The Athletic. He is now the host of his own independent podcast, Buha's Block, which can be watched on YouTube, downloaded anywhere you get your podcast. He is also the tri-host of the Lakers Collective podcast. Follow him on Twitter at Yovan Buha. And just so the audience is aware, Yovan, like I said, on the East Coast, so to accommodate schedules, we pre-recorded the conversation. Hopefully no trades that take place in between this recording and when Lakers Talk hear us. But either way, full disclosure, my dude, how are you, man?
I'm doing well, trying to stay warm out here. Went from the sunny weather in LA to the freezing weather out here. Was not really prepared for like sub 10 degree weather, but making the best of it.
Well, better you than me. We're going to get into I am not built for cold, man. I've lived in cold. That's why I know I'm not built for it. We'll get into some trade deadline stuff in a bit, but I wanted to first get your take on the Knicks loss Sunday. You had a lot to say on the latest episode of Buha's Block. So what are some of the biggest takeaways for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to touch on the trade deadline with us rapidly approaching it here, but it does feel like this team is at a bit of a crossroads, in my opinion, in terms of they are clearly a good team. They are on pace for 50 wins, technically 49 and a half, but we will round up and say 50 wins. They're probably going to be somewhere in that 5 to 7 seed range as things stand. And depending on the first round matchup, depending on how Luka is playing, I think he is that great where they could be a road underdog in round one and potentially win a series. Like there are some pathways to this team maybe making round two, but I think as things stand, they're probably going to lose in round one. And again, like I think they're good and it's been a nice first 50 games or so of the season, but they clearly have a fatal flaw, which is I look at the supporting cast.
Just one?
They have a couple
generous of you, Yovan.
I would say, I mean, shooting and at the core, shooting and defense are the fatal flaws. Okay. But I think if you look at the supporting cast in particular, their best offensive players are inconsistent to below average defenders. their best defenders are inconsistent offensive players, right? And I thought last night that was highlighted by the trio of Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, and Jared Vanderbilt combining to shoot 4 for 20 from the floor, including just 2 for 13 on threes. Those are the Lakers' 3 best defenders. Certainly their 3 best perimeter defenders. And like, they need those guys to have, like, if those guys aren't on the floor, they're a bottom 5, if not bottom 3 defense. Like, they need those guys to just at least kind of tread water, but then those guys cannot score consistently. They can't make shots. They can't make plays. And so there's this just imbalance within the roster, within the rotation, within the lineups. JJ has to nail it every single game just right. And that's assuming guys are performing at a certain level. So I just think that if this group wants to stand pat or make a small move, and to me, any variation of Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleba, Dalton Connect, a second round pick, if that's the basis that they are operating with in terms of the type of trade they want to make, I just don't see how that dramatically improves their odds in the West. So I think they have to decide, are we trying to invest in this year's team, or are we trying to invest in the summer, in the future, or whatnot? But if they are going to wait until the summer, you better go get Giannis. You better go get that other high-level starter or a couple starters. Like, you can't stand pat and then also not execute that plan in the summer. So I just think it's setting up for potentially a lot of pressure, I think, this upcoming offseason, because if you don't nail it this deadline, you have to nail it in the summer.
What do you make of Austin Reaves still not being back? He's been questionable for a couple of games, warmed up, essentially been a game time decision, then kept out. Tomorrow night in Brooklyn is the last night that he can return and, I guess, still have taken part in this road trip. Is there any reason for concern rather than just either disappointment or confusion with the messaging?
I mean, this is sort of par for the course with the Lakers and some of the injury stuff over the last few years, right? Kendrick Nunn was day-to-day for almost the full season, right? We've seen it with Gabe Vincent, Christian Wood. This tends to just be how the Lakers operate with injuries. I can speak to, I know Austin really wanted to play last night. He was pushing to return for that game in particular and went through his pregame warmup and just didn't feel right. So JJ had said that, to your point, he was going to return on the trip. Technically, if he plays Tuesday in Brooklyn, he returned for the final game of the 8-game road trip. But I wouldn't read too much into it. There's not like a serious setback here of he's going to miss a lot more time. I think it's a matter of, could be another, potentially another game or two at most, but it sounds like he's going to be back at some point this week.
Talking with Yovan Buha, covers the Lakers as the host of the Buha's Block podcast, also the tri-host of the Lakers Collective podcast. You can follow him on Twitter at Yovan Buha. Andy Kamenetzky, Lakers Talk, ESPN LA 710. In what was not terribly surprising news for me, LeBron was named as a Western Conference All-Star reserve. To me, what's more interesting is whether LeBron's inclusion signals either the league knowing something about LeBron's future and acting accordingly, or just trying to cover its bases on some level with LeBron's future. What was your reaction when you saw that he was named?
I wasn't surprised. I thought he was going to make it. I did a episode a couple weeks ago with Trevor Lane doing, picking our all-star reserves. And I actually had LeBron as a replacement based on injury at the time. And but he had him as a reserve. So, I mean, I think you can make that case. I do look at Kawhi
He's a fringy
Leonard.
all-star.
Yeah, he was a fringy all-star. Like to me, Kawhi Leonard and Alperen Şengün should have been on the team. Both guys were on my all-star reserves team. But I think people are focusing on LeBron. I think you could look at the bottom half of the West reserves and look at Chet and Devin Booker, and I think those couple of guys. Denny Avdia is also on a team that's lower in the play-in mix. Like, I think there are several guys you could poke some holes in and potentially make an argument. I think Kawhi should have been in over all those guys, right? So I think Kawhi was more so like should have been the second or third selection off of the West bench rather than not making it. But we don't know how much that potentially has to do with the aspiration situation.
That's my conspiracy theory.
And the trees that were planted or not planted. But yeah, I mean, with LeBron, like there's been some signs throughout the course of the season. I thought most recently, the way that he reacted with the Cleveland tribute video and just the emotion that poured out of him, like he's gotten a tribute in Cleveland every year that he plays in that game. And for whatever reason, this one hit a little bit harder. I know they've been celebrating the 2016 championship, so maybe that was a part of it. It's the 10-year anniversary. But yeah, I mean, there's been some signs, and he's had a few comments here and there that suggest this could be the end. I don't think he knows. I certainly don't know. Like, I think there's three potential paths that could play out. He returns to the Lakers next year, he goes elsewhere, or he retires. I think they're all relatively close in terms of probability right now. But I was not surprised he made it because I mean, it's LeBron. And at the end of the day, like the All-Star game is a show. It's a showcase. It's supposed to be entertainment. LeBron remains, regardless of where you want to put him in player rankings, he remains one of the most entertaining and popular players in the NBA.
Talking with Yovan Buha, covers the Lakers with the Buha's Block podcast, the tri-host of the Lakers Collective podcast. You can follow him on Twitter at Yovan Buha. So trade deadline, Thursday, noon Pacific time, about 2.5 days away from closing. First dominoes, if you want to call them that, fell over the weekend. DeAndre Hunter, who had been linked to the Lakers in some rumors, gets moved to the Kings, part of a three-way deal involving old friend Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis, the latter of whom had also been pretty heavily linked to the Lakers. 3-and-D guard, young, could have been a potential supporting player with Luka. With that in mind, who are some of the realistic names that you think the Lakers could be targeting, should be targeting?
I think it's a pretty grim list, to be completely honest with you. I would say I'm actually working on a trade target list for an episode I'm going to do on Buha's Block. But my three top targets in some order are Herb Jones, Nick Claxton, and Andrew Wiggins. Now, I think all three of those guys would require a first-round pick, and that might not even be enough for what those three teams are respectively looking for from the Lakers or elsewhere. But I think that getting any of those three guys to me would be a successful deadline because I think the Lakers should have two goals going into this deadline. Shorter term and just sort of looking at like this season, I would say upgrading the Gabe Vincent and Maxi Kleber spots in the rotation. I think Gabe's slipped defensively a bit. If you look at his defensive rating, the Lakers are really struggling to defend with him on the floor, and teams are really targeting him at a high level with how much the Lakers are switching. So I think if you could find a way to upgrade the Gabe spot and or the Maxi Kleber spot, that I think would at least help in the short term with the rotation. Bigger picture and longer term, I would say the goal for the Lakers to walk away from at this deadline would be landing a long-term starter next to Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves. And if you can get a Herb Jones, a Nick Claxton, a player like that, that is your starting three of the future, your starting center of the future. So I think that should be the goal. Putting those guys aside, because I think all those guys are relatively unrealistic unless the Lakers are really putting the first and potentially Rui on the table. I think we go down a few tiers to Ayo Dosunmu, Sadiq Bey, Najee Marshall, maybe Daniel Gafford. It seems like he's potentially available, and I would put him a little bit higher on this list. But you also have the backdrop with LA and Dallas, and would Dallas even entertain trading with LA, or would they even entertain a fair trade with LA? I think that's like Dallas, I feel like would have to try to sell it to their fan base that they won the trade or got one back against LA. So I think it gets pretty grim, right? Like Keon Ellis to me was one of the top guys that was available, and he ended up actually being more of a throw-in to get off the Dennis Schroeder and Dario Saric contracts. Just Kang's gonna Kangs.
Yeah, I so don't understand what they're doing.
They wanted a first for him, and then they ended up attaching him as a sweetener.
Evergreen statement. What the F are the Kings doing? Yovan Buha is my guest. He is the host of the Buha's Block podcast, the tri-host of the Lakers Collective Podcast. You can follow him on Twitter at Yovan Buha. Andy Kamenetzky, Lakers Talk, ESPN LA 710. How much, if at all, do you think the Lakers are basing their decisions or their non-decisions on, or non-moves, I should say, on the Giannis outcome? Like, in other words, until Giannis has moved, as long as there is a chance he could become a Laker, even if I would argue that chance is pretty small, they want to leave what they see as all of their Giannis options and avenues on the table.
I think it's a real factor. They believe there is a chance, however slim, that Giannis could potentially be in the mix for them this summer, right? It's got to be this summer. That's the one thing I keep trying to hammer to people is it's not happening at this trade deadline. They do not have the assets or the contracts to pull that off. I think if you look at this summer, they could do one of two things. They could potentially acquire him into cap space, which I think would be the preferred route, because then you could also keep Austin Reaves in that scenario, or you could do a sign and trade with Austin Reaves, which would require him agreeing to that and then going to Milwaukee to become the face of that franchise. But I'm skeptical.
How are the golf courses there? Do you have any idea what the golfing is
I'm
like?
I'm a little
in
skeptical of
Milwaukee?
that one. I don't think, I've seen people throw him in as like a sign and trade guy, and it's like, well, remember, Austin's got to agree to that. It's not just you throw him in. That's not how it works. I think there's like a slim chance it's the Lakers. I know it's a little cliche, but we can't. I mean, look, like last year at this time, a couple days prior, we were not anticipating the Lakers pulling off the Luka trade. We were talking about maybe another small move for LA going into the final week before the deadline. So it's the Lakers, and I know some people aren't going to want to hear that, but they have the history of pulling off the improbable, right? So you can't rule that out. But the only thing we know in terms of what Giannis wants or like a team that's been attached to him has been the New York Knicks, right? Like that was the one team that Shams reported on. So there's still a lot of speculation as to what teams he'd be available. I mean, I know there's been some reporting with like Minnesota and maybe a couple other situations, but we don't really know fully what Giannis wants, including even if he wants out, like, he'll deny the trade request and whatnot. But this is a factor for the Lakers. I also think there's a factor of, it's not just Giannis. I know that's like the big thing on the docket right now, but it's also like you look at the summer. Peyton Watson is a player who is going to be a restricted free agent. Walker Kessler is a player who's going to be a restricted free agent. There are some intriguing names. The Lakers also will be able to acquire players via the cap space in trades if they want to go down that road. So I think you could argue there is an argument for them standing pat and just rolling over their salary cap situation into the summer. I just think, again, like if you're going to do that, you have to be fairly confident that you can execute it, because if free agency is a game of musical chairs, if you're caught without the chair and all of a sudden you're basically running back this year's group and it's like, okay, well, we re-sign Rui, maybe we sign Ayton to like another 1+1, we sign Smart to another 1+1, maybe LeBron's back, maybe he's not. All of a sudden, if it's, I mean, there's a path to like it being the same team just without LeBron, and that's just objectively a worse team next season, right? So they got to be careful with that. Of if you're going for the Watson, the Kessler, whoever, you got to go get that player. Otherwise, you're in a bit of a predicament.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because Luka, after the Knicks loss last night, was asked generally about the state of the team. And he said that, there are things that they need to improve, but that he likes this roster. He thinks they're in a good place. And he may just be saying the PC thing. Luka does not seem like a boat rocker that way, but it could reflect him being sincerely happy and not looking to pressure the front office. And ultimately, the big picture goal beyond winning titles, if possible, is keeping Luka happy. Should that guide their decisions? Like if they know he is happy or happy enough in terms of just how they handle the right now?
Yes, I would say to a large degree, I would agree with that premise. I think, of course, the Lakers being the Lakers, like it's championship or bust every season, right? This is not a franchise that hangs division banners or conference banners. It is championship or bust for the fan base. And I think you also have to factor, like, yes, of course, Luka is the most important player and arguably the most important figure right now associated with the Lakers. But you also have to think about what the fan base wants, and the fan base wants a deep playoff run. They want to have some skin in the game going into May and potentially June. And I don't think the current situation is set up for that. And look, maybe Luka is happy and he's being genuine about what he's saying publicly, and I would not discount that. I just think if they lose in round one again, which I would say if we're ranking the most probable playoff outcomes for the Lakers right now, it's probably they're like the 5 or 6 seed and lose in a competitive round one series. We'll see how Luka, how happy Luka is in the summer, right? Because if it's back-to-back first round exits with the Lakers to start off his tenure, that's a pretty tough start, right? Especially coming off of making a finals with Dallas. So I think, again, whether he's happy now or maybe that's just public comments, like I think it's sooner than later it's going to come up that like the Lakers need to dramatically improve this roster and start putting real pieces on the table that can be a part of the future. Because one thing I feel like kind of flies under the radar when we talk about the Lakers and how they've operated recently, they've sat out for the last 5 trade cycles. The singular trade cycle they took part in, they did do the DFS trade and the Luka trade, so they deserve a lot of credit for that. But if you go back, like 2023 summer, 2024 summer, 2025 summer, didn't make any moves. 2023-24 season, didn't make a move. So it's now potentially going on 5 out of 6 trade cycles that they have entirely sat out. At some point, you got to make some trades and you got to cash in those assets to build a better roster.
And then last question for you. We're talking with Yovan Buha, host of the Buha's Block podcast. Follow him on Twitter at Yovan Buha. We are officially in the Mark Walter era, albeit the very early stages. Do you have a sense of how much he is influencing Rob's decisions right now, telling Rob what he wants, or if he's just letting Rob make decisions and then he will evaluate what Rob decides, the thought process, all that stuff?
I don't have great insight into that specific dynamic as to how much he's dictating things behind the scenes. What I do know is that right now there is a level of evaluation going on in terms of, I believe every part of basketball ops is under evaluation and assessment for potential bolstering this upcoming offseason. So, my understanding, and I've talked about this on my show, is that right now, like, they don't want to rock the boat with making these grand changes outside of firing the scouting department earlier in the season. Generally with the rest of the front
aside
office
from an entire department, they're not looking to make big changes.
Aside from that, well, that seemed to be a little bit more than beyond.
I know that's a whole other interview.
It's a whole other topic, but outside of like that, the goal is right now to make it with the current group and maybe add a couple, they could certainly add some scouts and have a boost in that department. But outside of potentially adding some scouts at some point here in the second half of the season, the goal is to go into the offseason and then make the bigger changes and bolster the front office and basketball ops and departments with 2 or 3 people will have 4 or 5 people, right? And it's about doubling up or so in a lot of these areas, but also going and scouting and poaching some of the best talent across the league or in college basketball or wherever they may be right now. So yeah, I think we haven't seen his fingerprints on things as much as of right now, but I believe that it's because he took over like right before, / like during the start of the season. And I believe this offseason is going to be when we're going to see the grand changes.
He is Yovan Buha. He covers the Lakers as the host of the Buha's Block podcast. He is also one of 3 hosts of the Lakers Collective podcast. You can follow him on Twitter at Yovan Buha. And if it's okay to say it, this Friday, I will be a guest on Friday's episode of Buha's Block, which I'm really excited about. That's going to be a lot of fun as well. Longer conversation, as they always are on Buha's Block. and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm a yapper.
I appreciate the time, brother. Thank you.
Appreciate you for having me.
And coming up, you can react to anything Yovan brought up on the show. We can talk about the trade deadline, the Knicks loss, your calls, 877-710-ESPN. This is Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
ESPN LA is bringing the action to Hollywood Park Casino for the House Rules Grand Opening Celebration. Happening Thursday, February 12th from 3 to 5:30 p.m. Join ESPN LA's DeMarco and Travis, as well as me, Chris Morales, as House Rules by Hollywood Park Casino, partnered with Legends Attic, the Southland's premier sports memorabilia gallery and store, officially opens its door inside LA's hottest card room. Celebrate in style with great food, drinks, prizes. Meet Oral Hershiser and Isaac Bruce. More information at playhpc.com/events.
ESPN LA family on personal injury attorney Joseph S. Normand. 2026 marks 15 years that you've trusted me to represent you. When you're hurt and down, I'm honored to fight for you in personal injury cases when it matters most. Numbers don't lie. I'm the real deal. The voice you hear is the voice you get. If you've been injured in an accident, call 213-747-1234, 213-747-1234, or visit normandlegal.com. Normand Legal, built on trust, proven by results.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob 1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
Hey, listen, you get into an accident, there's one name to call, okay? It's Call Jacob, of course. And Cappy, he's got a brand new number. Are you ready to say it together?
I think I am.
Ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. 800-345-6789. It's very simple, man. Listen, the worst thing that can happen to you, man, you're having a great day, you're driving around, maybe you're going to get ready to pick up the kids at school or practice or whatever, and then, out of nowhere, bam! Your day is ruined.
You gonna know that number?
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
800-345-6789.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob 1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
This is Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
Now back to Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky.
Dreams and everything in New York ain't always what it seems. You might get fooled if you go from my
The Lakers remain in New York after last night's 112-100 loss to the Knicks. They will be playing the Nets in Brooklyn, second end of a back-to-back in New York. That game can be heard right here on ESPN LA 710. 4:30 local tip. Pregame coverage begins at 3 o'clock. Thanks again to Yovan Buha from Buha's Block and the Lakers Collective swinging by. Time for the Lakers Talk Injury Report, brought to you by the Call Jacob Injury Hotline, the only number LA trusts after an accident. 800-345-6789. 800-345-6789. Incredibly easy to remember if you're panicking after being in an accident. And it's very important to be able to remember a number easily, as we learned when I gave out the wrong number yet again for calling in. 213-799-0139 is the actual number. I've been calling out the other one for like a decade plus.
Do you memorize any numbers lately? Like just any numbers?
You know,
like if you didn't have your phone, could you memorize? Can you like call your wife or something?
I know my wife's phone number. Mm-hmm. I know my daughter's phone number. I know my father's phone number. Mm-hmm. I know my brother's phone number.
Yeah.
That is probably it.
I know my brother's phone number, my cousin's phone number, and I am iffy on my wife's number.
Well, you know what's funny is I was talking about this with my daughter, who's 14, yesterday, about, like, do you know anybody's phone number? And she knows mine and my wife's just for, like, an emergency. That's it. Like, she's not even, like, I don't even know how many of her friends she's actually dialed their number before. Like, there's never any reason, because you get someone's number and you store it. I told her, I'm like, you should at least memorize one friend's phone number. I'm like, I named a couple of her friends. I'm like, memorize one of their numbers, just in case there's an emergency. You can't get hold of me and mom. But I used to be so good at memorizing phone numbers.
Oh my God.
I used to be a phone number.
So, you know, when you go to like
master.
Grocery stores or somewhere else and they, you know, for rewards or whatever, they ask for your number.
Yeah.
And most of the time, my wife's number is, for a reward. So I have to go through my phone to get her number. I don't memorize it.
Well, our CVS account, for example, that is under my wife's number, so I have to punch that in all the time. I have my wife's phone number. I met my wife long enough ago to where I had a flip phone.
Yeah.
So the flip phone required some dialing. So I actually had to dial her number, and I've had text, set up the number to text her. I've dialed her enough that I have that memorized. And again, you should have your wife's number memorized.
I know.
Case of an emergency, whatever.
I just hope I don't go to jail or something. I just hope.
Okay, if you go to jail, Funchy,
I can call Jacob.
You can call Jacob. That is true. 800-345-6789. Even if that is not what Jacob specializes in, and I don't think it is, Jacob, I'm sure, knows at least a lawyer who can get you out of jail. DeAndre, you're younger than us. Do you have any... DeAndre just gave me this look like, are you about to ask me about going to jail? DeAndre is like, where are you going with this?
Exactly.
You're younger than me and Funchy. Do you have any phone numbers memorized?
Yeah, I do.
Who?
I mean, my mom's, my brother's. That's like the only two.
What about your lady? Do you have your ladies?
Nah.
So basically, you're like, everyone now just has the true, either spouse or parents, maybe a sibling. That's it. Like Graham in the back, one of the kids in the back of the social media. You're what are you, 14 or something? You're super young. Do you have any phone numbers memorized? Mom and dad.
I said mom and dad's.
Mom and dad. That's it. That's it. Do you even are you even cognizant of a time where you ever had to learn a phone number, truly learn it, ever? Amazing. Absolutely.
I wish I could live like that.
Absolutely. I used to be so good at memorizing.
Me too.
phone numbers, man.
Everyone.
You gave me a phone number once, maybe twice at the most. I had that thing down.
Especially if it was a lady.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was great at memorizing the ladies' phone numbers. And I had to become really good at it because I was often getting the phone number after a little bit of liquid courage. So I had to make sure that I was all right, say it over and over and over and over and over. I had to make sure I had that thing memorized. You had to be really good. But it's not like the call Jacob injury hotline of the Lakers Talk injury report, obviously brought to you by the Call Jacob injury hotline, 800-345-6789. We were talking before about, real quick, we'll get into it. We were talking before about LeBron as an all-star reserve, and that's obviously been pretty debated. Talk radio, I'm sure it was on Get Up and First Take and yada, 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 because he is a fringy all-star. I don't think it's a ridiculous inclusion, but it's fringy. There's no question about it, if we're being honest. And there's questions about whether or not, or conspiracy theories about whether or not the league leaned on Mitch Johnson, who will be coaching the West, to include LeBron, maybe because they think or even know that this is his last year in the NBA, so they want to try to get LeBron in one more all-star game. To me, the bigger conspiracy theory is the one, and by the way, this is just me conspiring with theories, my own. Kawhi Leonard and James Harden, I think you can make much stronger arguments deserve to be in the All-Star game than LeBron in terms of pure merit. Kawhi, believe it or not, has actually played more games than LeBron. Kawhi has been awesome when he's played this year, awesome. James Harden has been great this whole year and really helped keep the Clippers even semi-afloat until eventually other guys started coming back. But guess where this game is being played at? Intuit Dome. Guess what the Clippers are dealing with? The whole aspiration thing. Who's the face of the aspiration thing? Kawhi Leonard. To me, I wonder if the league said, I don't care who you put on with these reserves, but it ain't going to be Kawhi Leonard. And you know what? James Harden, you're catching strays with this too. You had nothing to do with it, but guess what? You play for the team that we are trying to make everybody forget is a part of this building. It's too late to move the thing. We can't move the All-Star game out of the Intuit, but we don't want any more questions about aspiration and the Clippers than we have to. So that's actually my conspiracy theory. That's the real conspiracy theory of the All-Star game.
Coming up, going to get into some trade deadline talk, what the Lakers can do, should do, will do, won't do. That's all coming up next. Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
The home of the Lakers. And now the home of the Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays 9 a.m. to noon. KSPN Los Angeles. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNLAcontests.com.
That's ESPNLAcontests.com.
Hey, it's Travis. Every legend has a story, and those stories are kept at Legends Attic in Claremont. Legends Attic is the premier sports memorabilia gallery and store that offers a unique blend of rare and iconic collectibles. It's a community for sports fans and collectors, so go check it out for yourself. Legends Attic, 619 West Foothill Boulevard in the city of Claremont. Visit legendsattic.com and be sure to follow Legends Attic on all social media platforms so you can stay connected to know about their upcoming signings and special events with Hall of Famers and pro players.
Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel is giving away a Mercedes every Thursday in February. Club Serrano members play all month long to earn entries for your chance to win this powerful and luxurious full-size German SUV. Join for free today and don't miss your opportunity to drive off in a brand new Mercedes. It's all happening at Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel, celebrating its 40th anniversary. You in? Details at yamava.com. Must be 21 to enter. Please gamble responsibly.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 60, puts you right in the center of the biggest game of the year. And when anything can happen during the Super Bowl, DraftKings has your back with early exit. If a player goes down in the first half, you still get paid out in cash immediately once your bet settles. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Amber and Ian. That's code Amber and Ian to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
This is Lakers Talk on 710 ESPN.
Yesterday in the Big Apple, the purple and gold went into Madison Square Garden looking for another big road win, but fell to one of the hottest teams in the league.
And that's the end of the ball game. Final score, Knicks 112 and the Lakers 100.
Did enough throughout the game to put ourselves in a position to play to win at the end. But yeah, their shooting killed us and our shooting didn't help us.
The 8-game Grammy road trip hits Brooklyn tomorrow for its final stop before heading home on Thursday.
I can only speak to the group that we have here. We're 29-19 right now. We've had some really good moments. We have some not so good moments. We want to continue to try to build off of that. Me speaking on anything other than that is not it's not my pay grade.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
And all new Lakers Talk is on right now.
Here's Andy Kamenetzky.
Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, ESPN LA 710. Like I said, we are going to dive a lot into the trade deadline during this hour up until 8 o'clock. But before we do that real quick, first of all, for the folks watching on YouTube, want to show these off. These are the new Susie Sleepers. Courtesy, they are the brainchild, the invention. I hope I'm on camera with these. Brainchild and invention of one Sua Cravens. These are Sua shoes. Our very own Suas. They are comfortable as hell. I mean, they are super comfortable. They're really thick. Like I think they make me about 6 feet tall. Like they're almost like platform sneakers, man. They're really, really comfortable. They are good looking. Try to get a better angle this time around. Not easy to do this, but again, they're awesome, man. I very much appreciate Sua hooking me up. They're called the Susie Sleepers. Susie with 3 Z's. Susie's with 3Z's.com. Check him out, man. Good stuff. And I know Sue has been hooking up a lot of folks around the station. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. Before we get to trade talk, also, too, Mitch in New Jersey. You are on Lakers Talk. What's up, Mitch?
Hey, AK. Sanj, how you guys doing? Nice hat, too, besides the sneakers, so Mr. GQ over here. Yeah. I think LeBron James has a lot of cachet, so, and he hasn't done his farewell tour, so I think he's coming back next year. I guess we can't trade Bronny yet, right? Seriously, we have to get another. I think we got another big guy, another big body, and another scorer for the bench. Just doesn't have enough scoring, and even with Austin Reaves coming back as soon as possible, I hope.
Yeah, I appreciate the call there, Mitch. Hopefully Austin is back tomorrow against the Nets. Otherwise, I really got questions about why JJ brought this up in the first place.
Or he's on a trip. Why he's on a trip?
Yeah, I'm bonding, team bonding. That's what they always talk about. Like, I feel like Austin's been around this team long enough. He doesn't really need to bond. Like, I don't know if that's necessary, but I get into even if there's no setback, and I want to make it clear, I've heard nothing about a setback. I've actually asked around about it. I've heard nothing about any concerns of a setback, but I just don't understand why they would put this out there and build expectations if he's not going to play tomorrow. Or even, I mean, frankly, if he only plays one game, kind of feel like might as well have just waited till he got back, whatever. But anyway, Austin will hopefully be back tomorrow. And either way, yesterday marked, as we get into the trade deadline, yesterday marked the 1-year anniversary of Luka being traded to the Lakers in the first place. Shocking. I thought the entire NBA world had been hacked with this news. But ESPN has...
Where were you that night?
I was at home. I had just finished recording an unnamed podcast. You may recall the Lakers had just played the Knicks.
Yes.
And it was a really big win. It was a really big win, and my brother and I had recorded this unnamed podcast, and we were all excited about this big win over the Knicks. And then all of a sudden, as I was processing this show that never aired, it's like in our archives, all of a sudden, now that I think about it, we should have released that archive at the 1-year anniversary.
I believe you hopped on. I went on Instagram Live that night when everything.
Yes, I did.
You hopped on with me, man.
I did actually. That night was insane. It was insane. But yeah, like as I was processing this show, all of a sudden, like my phone's going nuts, Twitter's going nuts. I've got a few friends of mine going.
We just ended postgame.
Right.
Me and Beto just literally ended postgame, and I was driving right down the street. I got a text from him or a call like, "Is this real?"
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I had a bunch of friends of mine like ask me, "Is this real? Is this?" I'm like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "He has to have been hacked." I'm like, "Shams has to have been hacked." Then I see Windhorst on either Sports Center or something like that. And even then, I wasn't convinced. I'm like, this is a windy deep fake. They've got a windy deep fake up on Sports. They've got everybody fooled, the AI agents and the bots. They've taken over NBA. I was waiting for a tweet from AK at Cam Brothers with me confirming this that I didn't even type. That's how convinced I was.
And the crazy thing is, Shams had to double down because that's, we're in that time now where everyone's account could get hacked. There's a possibility of that stuff. And he had to double down and say, no, this is legit.
Except if you were hacking Shams, that is exactly what you would do, DeAndre, to convince everyone that he wasn't hacked. You do the second follow-up tweet saying that I wasn't hacked. That's how you do this. I mean, I'm not joking. When I saw Windhorst on SportsCenter, I'm like, are they 100% sure that's Windhorst? Like, I really thought this was like a massive, massive multimedia hack because it seemed so insanely like, wait, what? It was so out of nowhere. Like, initially, I wasn't even as excited as I was. What do they know about Luka? Like, what do they know? They got to know something. Like, there's no way you do this with a generational star who's just entering his prime and hasn't asked for a trade. He's only indicated he wants to be a Mav for life. I was like, there's no way this is real. There is no.
Maybe the Mavs just really wanted Max Christie.
You know what, though? We could use Max Christie.
I know.
I say that brother's balling right now.
Corner threes.
Corner three.
That dude, he is. I'll tell you, he's exactly the type of player that you put alongside Luka Doncic. Like, he's the prototype of what you want. 3-and-D, can put the ball on the floor now. He can create a bit for himself.
He got a good leaping ability. He's athletic. Things like that.
If the Mavs were relevant this year for anything not involving Cooper Flagg, Max Christie would be in the most improved player conversation. Like, he's really, and to give the Lakers credit, because I would say their contracts have been mixed bag in the Rob Pelinka era, they nailed the contract with Max Christie. Because remember, at the time, there were a lot of people going, 4 years, $32 million. The guy's barely played. Like, really?
Steal.
I was going to say, not only did they get that right, he's got one of the best contracts in the league now. Like, that is a phenomenal contract for Max Christie. So props to Rob and the front office. They nailed that one. And I know I was excited about it. I thought it was a good contract, but the majority of particularly national coverage I saw was like, really? 4-32 for a guy that's been in and out of the rotation? I'm like, no, this one's going to age well. But anyway, it is the 1 year anniversary of the Luka deal, which I think is apropos to the trade deadline coming up, because it raises the question of what are they going to do at this deadline to try to build on Luka now? Are they focused on the future more? We're going to need all that coming up next. Again, your calls, 213-799-0139, 213-799-0139. If you want to call in, your thoughts, what you want to see the Lakers do, what you don't want to see them do at the deadline. This is Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
You never know what you're going to get on the Sedano and Cap Morning Show. Like Cap going full rock star.
Well, Cappy likes Pearl Jam because he does a pretty mean Eddie Vedder impersonation.
Well, it doesn't take a lot, you know what I mean? Every time. Right.
Sports, laughs, and unexpected concerts. Only on Sedano and Cap. Weekday mornings starting at 7 on ESPN LA.
Join ESPN LA Thursday, February 12th from 3 to 5:30 as myself and the DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show broadcast live at Hollywood Park Casino for the House Rules Grand Opening. Come meet sports legends, enjoy food, drinks, and prizes inside LA's hottest card room. Visit playhbc.com/events for more info.
In Los Angeles, it's not about closing deals. It's about opening partnerships. At ESPN LA, we're hiring audio marketing consultants and play-by-play marketing consultants. People who build relationships and create custom solutions powered by ESPN LA and the biggest teams in the city. This is where brands connect with fans who care. Competitive pay, full benefits, unlimited upside. Open your next partnership. Apply now at goodkarmabrands.com/careers.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
From 30 for 30 Podcasts.
Brian Pata, senior defensive lineman from Miami, gunned down.
The key to this case, it's Brian. An hour before he died, he was on the phone arguing with somebody.
This might be a hit.
You want the truth. They just want a conviction.
Been placed under arrest.
We had a killer amongst us.
Murder at the U, coming soon. 710 ESPN.
The radio home of the purple and gold and the home of Lakers talk.
To be able to be an all-star, means a lot to, my family, my people that's been following my career, my LeBron faithful.
Even in year 23, the King is still doing his thing at an all-star level.
The coaches voted, right? Mad respect to the coaches and, them seeing, where I'm still playing at this, latter stage of my career.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
Lou Reed, a New York legend. Absolutely. Lou Reed used to go to Knicks games a lot.
Did he really?
Yeah. I was a little bit surprised when I learned that myself. I'm a big Lou Reed fan.
Velvet Underground fan, huh?
Yeah, Velvet Underground, Lou Reed solo. I saw him on the New York tour. He had an album called New York, actually.
Well, that's why I got songs about New York.
Yeah, it's a great album. I saw him on the New York tour, but I learned a few years ago, and I was surprised by this. He used to go to Knicks games regularly. Like he was a big Knicks fan. New York guy. Andy Kamenetzky, Lakers Talk, 710 ESPN. The first dominoes, I guess if you want to call them that, of the trade deadline fell over the weekend. DeAndre Hunter, who had been with the Cavaliers, kind of a 3-and-D light type player, had been linked to the Lakers. He gets moved to the Kings as part of a 3-way deal with the Bulls. Old friend Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis, who had also been very heavily linked to the Lakers, a 3-and-D guard, young, could have potentially been part of a Luka core, I think, for the next few seasons. I don't particularly care that they missed out. If you want to call it missing out on DeAndre Hunter, I don't particularly care. He's making $25 million next season. I don't think he's worth the money, and I don't think he is worth cutting into some optionality. I just don't think he is that good of a player unless you're planning on just bringing him in for the short term and you're damn sure that you can flip him this offseason. I don't care about that. My basic school of thought for this trade deadline for the Lakers, like I know DeAndre, for example, you're big on stand pat. You're very, very big on don't do anything. Still
with that stance, yes.
We're sort of along the same lines. I do not want them doing anything big that prioritizes this season. Like if this season is the priority, I don't want them doing anything of substance because that requires them to go as all in as I guess is possible with a limited amount of assets because I don't think this roster is good enough. Like this is not a one move away roster. Like generally speaking, most one move away rosters they don't have a negative point differential. They're not below 500 against teams above 500. Like this is a team with many flaws that require either solving or papering over, and I don't think the Lakers can do that within the next 72 hours with the limited assets that they have. I am down, though, however, for a trade that is about building next year's team now. And if they can start finding guys that they actually like for Luka moving forward, like a Luka and presumably Austin Reaves core moving forward, that they think makes sense for this team moving forward, I would be down for doing that. Because then whatever happens this season, if they happen to catch some fire in the playoffs, awesome. I will always take a sustained playoff run. But I think what is more important is start to build next year's team now. I would not trade for anybody unless they're an expiring contract and you didn't have to give up anything of value to get him. I wouldn't trade for anybody that you don't want on this team next year or you're not sold on this team next year. With that in mind, let's go over the three names that Yovan Buha and I talked about in the first hour, the realistic targets, like the best realistic targets that he thought the Lakers could get, all of whom he said he thought either would or might require the Lakers giving up the one first that they can. Nick Claxton, Herb Jones, Andrew Wiggins. Of those three, would you be willing to trade a first for any of them?
Yeah.
Which one?
Nick Claxton.
Nick Claxton?
Nick Claxton.
I would trade a first for Nick. I would also trade a first for Herb Jones.
I feel like only because I seen what he did, and I know this is just recency bias. I seen what he did in New Orleans when the Lakers came out there. And he did not have a good shooting performance.
Well, he's probably nervous. He was auditioning.
Exactly. Knowing people that audition, knowing that they are linked to the Lakers, they ball out. But yeah. I just feel like seeing that, I'm like, kind of be a little hesitant. Don't really, give up a future, first round pick for a guy like Herb Jones right now. But a guy like Nick Claxton, who you're gonna get. You're gonna get energy. You're gonna get effort. You're gonna need something more than DeAndre Ayton. You're gonna need a guy that can switch a little bit on the smaller guards and can defend. He can rebound. He's very, very active. He doesn't need the ball in his hands to be engaged. Like that's ideal what the Lakers situation needs to be.
It's really interesting, too, like when you brought up Ayton. Would you be concerned at all with Ayton if he's on this team? Because if you're trading for Nick Claxton, that means DeAndre Ayton is either becoming Nick Claxton's backup or potentially the third-string center, because Jackson Hayes has been playing really well. And, like, Ayton has not played consistently well enough that he would automatically be ahead of Hayes the way he plays. And if Ayton is still on this team, there is at least a decent chance he's going to pick up his player option for next year.
Smart for him to do so.
Well, yeah, right now,
honestly,
$8-ish million, I'm picking that up too. Would that give you any pause, the idea that Claxton would be on this team with Ayton as well? Like, I know in the summer, Ayton at that point becomes an expiring deal. You could potentially move Ayton, but at least in the immediate, the idea of Ayton at best becoming a backup and having to wrap his head around that, at worst being out of the rotation and having to wrap your head around that, also the possible small p politics of him and Luka sharing an agent, would that give you any pause at all?
No pause at all, only because I feel like everything that's centered around DeAndre Ayton, as far as what he does, he has to be always involved in the pick and roll game. And there's moments where you see, like, when he starts to fade away, and then all of a sudden he's starting to hide. Like, where did DeAndre Ayton go? That's because, to your point, you say the Lakers don't include him enough in the offense. Well, there's certain guys who actually made the right cut, and they actually are visible and getting into the right spot to be successful. And not only that's only an offensive issue. There is moments in the defensive side where he's not protecting the rim. He doesn't do a good job contesting without fouling. He's always in bad situations on the defensive side of the floor. Then there's moments where, yeah, he can have a perfect night scoring, and he has high rebounding game with a double-digit rebounding, and you get into another game where he's only getting 6 points and 4 rebounds. To with Nick Claxton, I feel like there's more of a consistency, especially on the defensive end of the floor. And what is J.J. Redick's philosophy, what he likes to do? He likes to be able to switch 1 through 5. He likes the ideal as a big man, being able to kind of contest out in the perimeter, but also sprint back and rebound. Like, I feel like that's the difference between Nick Claxton.
Yeah, and Claxton, I think, too, is at an age where he lines up well enough with Luka. Like, he's going to be turning 27, I think, in the next few months. That is within the sweet spot of lining up with Luka. He's also under contract for the next 2 seasons, 27 and 28. They're descending deals in the low 20s, so you know what you're paying for with Nick Claxton over the next few years. You know how to slot that. It's a reasonable salary to try to figure out the other pieces that you put around Luka. Presumably you put around Austin as well. It's going to be, I think, difficult to find any starting caliber player, much less a center, at a salary lower than that, unless you somehow manage to trade for a rookie or something like that, still on a rookie scale deal. I would definitely make that type of deal for Claxton. I would make that type of deal for Herb Jones. I would absolutely not do it for Andrew Wiggins.
Absolutely not.
He's too old.
Old right now, and then see that's the thing. Like, we list Herb Jones as a 3-and-D guy, correct?
He is more D and 3 than 3-and-D.
So that's another concern, is that the ideal is we want someone that can also shoot the rock. But it's different in the big man perspective, of course. But as far as like the perimeter and a wing guy, Lakers need more knockdown shooters. They need guys that actually are consistent from the 3-point line. Gabe Vincent hasn't been consistent. Jake LaRavia is definitely not consistent.
Yeah, Herb has had he had 1 year where he shot almost 42% from behind the arc. The rest of his career, he's been 30s-ish. He's not a great three-point shooter.
He's shooting 32 this year.
Right. He's not a great three-point shooter. He is, though, a good defender. Like, he is a legit good defender.
And that's no question as far as what he does. But if you want to try to build the right team with Luka Doncic, you're going to need same as far as rim protecting, guys who actually go up and get it and be in the right position to catch a lob. DeAndre Ayton is not doing that on a consistent basis. Jackson Hayes does, but Jackson Hayes, you can only play him for a certain amount of minutes before he starts to become disengaged in games.
Or he just fouls out.
It just fouls. Exactly.
Like, you can literally only play him so many minutes because he will not be available. He will have fouled out.
And so then you look at the other parts of the puzzle, okay? You need guys that are going to be able to defend. And then especially if the Lakers plan on keeping Austin Reaves, which I have a strong feeling that's going to happen, then you're going to need also more guys to be able to keep up with that, that defensive, lack that is going to happen with Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves at certain moments of games. So then you look at that, okay, we're going to need more defensive guys. Then you need guys who can also shoot the rock, because coming off the pick and roll game, what happens when defenses see Luka Doncic come off the screen? They normally collapse in the paint. And then there's teams that are literally looking at Vanderbilt in the corner like, all right, that's fine. We're going to rebound. Or Gabe Vincent, for example. They don't respect them enough. They don't respect Jake LaRavia to be.
When Gabe had that layup against the Knicks, how stunned were you that he did not pass out? I was shocked that he did not pass out.
That one, and then let's rewind a little bit more. The game against the Wizards, he was wide open. What does he do? Pass it in the corner.
I know. I was like, dude, come on. Like when I actually tweeted out at Cam Brothers, Gabe Vincent layup, and then in all caps, Gabe Vincent layup, because I was stunned that he actually took a shot in the paint, like at the rim. Never does that. You mentioned Luka too, and obviously everything the Lakers do moving forward is all about Luka. Luka said some interesting things about the state of this roster that if he's being sincere, and you can believe him at face value, I think can also be potentially instructive for the Lakers moving forward. So getting that coming up next. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
ESPN LA family on personal injury attorney Joseph S. Normand. 2026 marks 15 years that you've trusted me to represent you. When you're hurt and down, I'm honored to fight for you in personal injury cases when it matters most. Numbers don't lie. I'm the real deal. The voice you hear is a voice you get. If you've been injured in an accident, call 213-747-1234, 213-747-1234, or visit normandlegal.com. Normand Legal, built on trust, proven by results.
Mornings in LA start with Sedano and Cap.
It's like, thank God he's alive. And then other times, like, God, I wish he died. I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, it's just an emotion.
Where Cap looks back at the highs and lows of 2025 and everything in between.
I would say I'm going to give 2025 a very solid 8.5. George mentions that we did start the show in the morning. That's a good thing. Health is wealth. Thank goodness. My folks are okay. Kids are all good. Morales came back to life, so that's kind of a good thing right there. I mean, what do you mean, sometimes kind of? Well, I'm saying kind of, not all the time. I mean, sometimes it's good, and it's like, God, thank God he's alive. And then other times, like, God, I wish he died. I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, it's just an emotion. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say that 2025 for me, I'm giving it an 8.5.
The Morning Show with Sedano and Cap. Weekdays starting at 7 a.m. on ESPN Los Angeles, the ESPN LA app, and streaming live on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel is giving away a Mercedes every Thursday in February. Club Serrano members play all month long to earn entries for your chance to win this powerful and luxurious full-size German SUV. Join for free today and don't miss your opportunity to drive off in a brand new Mercedes. It's all happening at Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel, celebrating its 40th anniversary. You in? Details at yamava.com. Must be 21 to enter. Please gamble responsibly.
Mason and Ireland, the OGs of LA Sports Radio.
You know, I minored in interpretive dance.
At Bowling Green?
At Bowling Green.
Did you really?
No. Was there some part of you that believed that? Wait a minute. Was there some part of you that believed that?
Here's why.
Okay.
As John Ireland would say, and here's why.
Yeah.
You were a pop culture major.
Pop culture major.
When you
with
were
a minor in interpretive dance.
I was going to say, when you are a pop culture major, similar to how I was a theater major for a little while, when you choose that type of, some would say, useless major, at that point, the minor is just gravy. Like, you might as well do interpretive dance as your minor.
I don't even think I had a minor. I had a major. I don't think I had a minor. Bowling Green, by the way, has a college of pop culture.
Mason and Ireland, weekdays at noon on 710 ESPN, the all-new ESPN LA app, and live on YouTube.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
More Lakers talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
After a tough loss at Madison Square Garden yesterday, LeBron still has confidence in his squad as they battle through the injuries.
I like this group, but we gotta get better. Going, 48 games now? It's a tough Western Conference. It's a tough league. It's been tough, all season as far as, dealing with injuries, guys in, guys out. It's kind of hard to see what we can really, truly be.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today. And all new Lakers Talk is on right now.
Back to Andy Kamenetzky.
My parents have never hated an album more than this album. Licensed Ill, No Sleep Till Brooklyn, Fight for Your Right to Party, Rhymin' and Stealin'. I mean, I listened to a lot of stuff that would put off your average suburban Jewish parent in the Midwest. They were willing to roll with whatever else for whatever reason. This album bugged the bleep out of them. They used to come to my room begging me to turn this album off. They hated it.
I can imagine with your long hair.
They no sleep till.
Or I hope the Lakers are getting a lot of sleep in Brooklyn.
How much sleep do you actually need to beat the Nets?
Say that. They're an NBA team.
We said the same thing when they played against the Sacramento Kings.
True. They did just lose, though, to the Pistons by 53.
Again, we said the same thing when the Lakers came to Sacramento.
This team has not earned the right to go out partying in Brooklyn. You are correct, DeAndre. Absolutely.
It could be a Michael Porter Jr. legacy game right here.
Or like one of their 9 rookies. Like it's like Porter, Claxton, and a bunch of.
And they got like a rookie named Igor.
They've got a bunch.
He's good
of
though. He's
good, really good.
Yeah.
What about Cam Thomas? What happened to that guy?
Cam Thomas is never afraid to call Cam Thomas's number. Like he gave himself the greenest of green lights, man. There is nobody in the league who sees a green light in front of them more than Cam Thomas.
If I was Cam Thomas, I would talk in third person.
Cam Thomas has the green light. Cam Thomas had a nice game tonight.
Cam Thomas shot 6 threes in mid all season.
Cam Thomas just took what the defense gave Cam Thomas. Everything's third person. Just lean into it. Lean into the way everyone sees you. You know that's how everyone sees you, so you might as well just lean into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go.
Exactly. Full villain.
Yeah, I mean, like full villain, method acting, like be like the Daniel Day-Lewis of Gunners, and you just never break character. All right, so we're talking about the trade deadline and what the Lakers may do, may not do, can do, cannot do, should not do. Between now and Thursday, it will be over at noon Pacific time. That's when the trade deadline ends. We're going to be celebrating it all day at Rock and Brews in El Segundo. Mason and Ireland will be there. I will be in for John, plus O'Shea Jackson Jr. is going to be joining.
Are you sure you're going to be celebrating it, or are you going to be, mad about it?
We're going to be celebrating it, man. We're trying to get people excited. We're going to try it.
I'm talking about the trade deadline. That's what I'm
well,
not us at the remote.
I cannot make any promises. I can't make any promises. But I can promise it'll be fun. I can promise if you're there, it'll be fun. And then afterwards, DeMarco and Travis will be there. Again, Rock and Brews in El Segundo all day during NBA trade deadline, which ends at noon Pacific. Luka Doncic, after I believe it was the loss to the Knicks, was asked about just thoughts on the state of the team, the roster, what do they need moving forward? And obviously, Luka has to be careful in the way that he answers this because, saying that you need to make moves by definition means I think some of my teammates should be traded. So you gotta handle this carefully. But Luka said, quote, "I think we're in a good spot. Obviously got some work to do. But I think today we obviously missed a bunch of good looks, but I think we have a good group." And I think this raises the interesting question of, again, I realize this could just be a PC response from Luka, just saying the thing that is just most benign. But what if Luka is genuinely okay with the state of the roster, or at the very least is not gunning for them to make major changes right now? How much does that matter? Because ultimately, I realize the Lakers are in the business, globally, broadly speaking, of trying to win championships, of satisfying a fan base that lives for championships. But the not that much smaller picture is keeping Luka happy. Like, that's the thing they're really trying to do. They're trying to win championships, but they're really trying to keep Luka happy. If Luka is, for the time being, genuinely okay with the roster right now, not saying he wouldn't mind any tweaks or whatever, but he's not putting pressure on them externally or internally, and he's being sincere about this, how much does that matter in terms of the way the Lakers go about this deadline?
I feel like he has. I mean, I feel like there's moments where when LeBron and Luka are out on the basketball court, they know when they look down and they don't get enough out of their rotational guys, and they know that the workload is tremendous on them. I feel like there's an understanding with Luka Doncic, and understanding that they will be able to build the ideal roster come this offseason and honestly the following one as well. So I think there might be some sort of communication understanding. I get it. When you have Luka Doncic, especially in this prime era of his, you want to try to maximize and try to build the right team around him whatsoever. But going into this past offseason, they didn't have that much leeway to get the right guys around him.
No, they absolutely did not. I mean, like the Luka deal took everybody by surprise, and it was an amazing surprise. But they had to do a hard pivot unexpectedly, and that can take a minute. Like, think how it took, I believe it was 4 seasons from when the Lakers blew up the Kobe and Shaq core. And obviously they decided to roll with Kobe. Shaq went to Miami, part of that trade that brought in Lamar Odom and Caron Butler. Caron Butler becomes Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown becomes Pau Gasol.
Don't forget about Smush Parker.
Don't forget about Smush Parker. Put some respect on, I believe his name was William. I believe that was Smush Parker's given name. I think William Henry. That's what I'm going to guess. I think it's William Henry Parker. Am I right?
You are correct.
I am correct.
William Henry Smush Parker III.
That was the first team that I ever covered full time. That first year of Phil coming back, the second go around with Kobe, the first of the Smush Kwame years. But anyway, like going from 2004, that team that went to the finals, lost to the Pistons, they break everything up. Shaq goes to Miami. Kobe starts his second. Kobe starts now being the guy, like the true center of the team. They eventually win a championship in 2009, go to the finals in 2008. That took a few years. And that was with Kobe in his prime and with Lamar Odom, who is, I would say, as good as anybody on this team, other than maybe the best moments that you see from LeBron or the best moments that you see from Austin Reaves. Like, Austin might be a better pure scorer than Lamar. Lamar did a lot of things like as a rebounder defensively that Austin didn't do. Like, Lamar was a really good player. It took a few years before you could eventually have a championship core. So to your point, DeAndre, it takes a minute. But what I also think is interesting about Luka saying this, and internally they're going to have hopefully the best idea of Luka's true feelings about the roster. You don't want to take Luka's happiness for granted or turn it into complacency, but it could also avoid you from making desperate moves or like trying to just swing wildly for the fences in order to make Luka happy. And I think about last year and the rescinded trade with the Mark Williams trade. They were going to bring in Mark Williams from Charlotte, 7-footer, trading Dalton and a first-round pick. And they ended up rescinding that because presumably they saw some stuff in Mark Williams' in his medicals that made him go like, holy bleep. Like we knew Mark Williams had an injury history, but we were not expecting this. I'd like to think that's what it was, as opposed to them just changing their mind. But there's a very strong school of thought that this was Rob Pelinka really trying to message to Luka before an extension, we are devoted to you. You are the guy. You've been on this team for like a week, and we are already willing to trade a first and Dalton Connect to bring in a 7-footer because we know you like a rim-running, lob-catching center, defensive back line. We know all of that. And then it turns out, for whatever reason, they didn't like what they saw, didn't like what they landed on with the physical. They rescinded the thing. But there was some fallout from that, including what happened with Dalton Connect. Like, Dalton Connect has not been the same player since then. I'm not saying it's all because of the rescinded trade, because Dalton, his play was starting to slip some before that, but this certainly didn't help. And at the very least, all the noise around this rescinded trade has torpedoed Dalton's trade value even more than it just would have had he started to regress some in his second year. Like, second-year regression is normal, but with all the noise about the rescinded deal, I think it made what went on with Dalton even louder and torpedoed his trade value even more.
Especially, like, not doing well in Summer League,
Yeah,
too. Like, that really was bad.
All of it. All of it. And I feel like that was a byproduct of making this deal that a lot of people feel like was them really trying hard to message to Luka, dude, we will do whatever. You are our franchise face. This is the way the Lakers treat superstars. And they went pretty hard for a center that I think under normal circumstances, they would have been like, we're not going to trade for this guy because his injury history is too much.
By the way, Mark Williams has played
I know.
every game this season.
He has. And look,
Just looking at his stats, too, right now, DeAndre.
No, he's having a good season. Good. And by the way, I'm glad for him because this deal being rescinded was bad business for Mark Williams. Like, it put like a neon sign around his neck that just said damaged goods. And that sucks for Mark Williams because he was already dealing with that anyway. So I'm happy for him. But the upside to Luka, at least messaging I'm okay, is hopefully it allows the front office to make sensible moves for the right reasons as opposed to constantly having to worry about dazzling Luka because that can get you in some trouble. All right, coming up, as always, we're going to close out with a little crunch time. Funchy's got the topics. DeAndre and I are going to weigh in. This is Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
All gas, all Lakers.
The Grammy road trip keeps rolling for its 8th and final stop as the Lake Show hits Brooklyn tomorrow at Barclays.
Back to Marcus Smart. Alley-oop, LeBron. Reverse dunk over his head, and the Lakers putting on a show.
Your Los Angeles Lakers come face-to-face with the Brooklyn Nets. Coverage begins tomorrow at 3 p.m.
The Lake Show lives here. 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change, is a proud sponsor of your ESPN LA Lakers radio network. For over 30 years, Valvoline Instant Oil Change has provided quick, convenient maintenance services for busy people like you. Oil changes, tire rotations, transmission care, and more. Drive in to your neighborhood Valvoline and let the expert technicians make sure your ride is in peak performance in about 15 minutes. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations and game-winning coupons.
The best way to start your morning is with Sedano and Cap. Until Cap turns it into this.
I love Cher. How old is Cher now?
Got to be like 80.
Yeah. In a weird way, she's still very hot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
Don't you think?
Oh, my God.
79 years old.
She has a boyfriend that's like 28.
Right. That's what I'm kind of saying, you know?
You're
like
saying
Georgia, right?
Sedano literally spitting water out. As Cappy said, Cher's still hot.
She's hot like Martha Stewart is hot, right?
It's a weird way.
Listen, we all are disgusted by, like, Bill Belichick and his 24-year-old girlfriend and what's going on there. Nobody's disgusted by, like, Cher being 79 and her boyfriend being in his under 30.
Man, you've been holding all these takes in for weeks.
I needed you guys. I needed you guys.
You never know what's coming next on Sedano and Cap, where the hot takes stay hot, no matter the age. Weekday mornings starting at 7 on ESPN LA.
For a century, the Genesis Invitational has stood as one of golf's greatest stages, where the game's legends make their mark and history is written.
It's official. The round that will long be remembered. Oh, yes! Ludwig Oberg.
February 19th through 22nd, celebrate 100 years of championship golf. Experience the drama, the tradition, and the moments that define the Genesis Invitational. Get your tickets now at genesisinvitational.com.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNLAcontests.com.
That's ESPNLAcontests.com. It's crunch time on Lakers Talk.
When the clock is ticking and it's all coming down to the wire, you know what that means.
This is crunch time.
Okay, we close out as always on Lakers Talk with a little crunch time. Funchy's got the topics. DeAndre and I will weigh in. What you got for us?
All right, we saw actually a couple guys that were on the Lakers' radar get traded earlier a couple days ago. We saw DeAndre Hunter go from Cleveland to Sacramento for
in a deal
Schroeder.
Nobody understands. For
And
Sacramento.
I don't understand one bit. You know, DeAndre Hunter goes to Sacramento for Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis, a couple guys that were in the Lakers' radar. What do you guys think about this trade? Why did it happen?
It's a good piece of business for Cleveland. I think it's really good for Cleveland. They get a look at Keon Ellis, who I think could be a part of that core moving forward. He's not going to be super expensive. Dennis Schroeder is, I think, helpful whether as a backup, like your third guard, or Garland insurance, because
That's what I was going to say. I think Darren Garland might be, hurt more than we think.
He's hurt all the time.
Yeah, he is.
It sucks because he's a good player.
Really good player.
But he's had toe problems. He had a broken jaw. Like, he gets hurt a lot. There's word that they're looking to trade Lonzo Ball.
I heard that,
to
too.
make a little bit of room. But this is good for them, man. They wanted to get out of the DeAndre Hunter business. As always with Sacramento.
What are they doing?
No idea what they're doing.
They're just
DeAndre, any idea what they're doing?
I mean, it looks like they're going to build around DeAndre Hunter. I think that's their plan.
I mean, they reportedly have been asking for a first for Keon Ellis. They ended up using Keon Ellis essentially as a sweetener to help get another team to take on Dennis Schroeder, who was a big signing that at the time everyone was like, why are you bringing in Dennis Schroeder? You've got like 6 other guys who all need the ball. Like, what are you doing?
And including when they got Russell Westbrook, like, why did you get him?
They have 5 guards on their team. 5.
Kangs are going to Kang, man.
But you know what, though? I guess the Kings got a lot of salary cap space going into this offseason. But I mean, what that's the Kings, though. Who knows what they're going to do with it?
That hotbed of free agency,
Exactly.
Sacramento. I'm glad they got a lot of money.
Yeah,
a lot of space.
they're trying to offload of Zach LaVine, too.
Does that mean that DeMar DeRozan is gone?
He's under contract for next season as well.
I just can't see all these guys playing.
Are you kidding? With Sacramento, it feels just as likely they'll extend him. Like Sacramento will extend him.
They're going to give Westbrook a 3-year deal.
I don't know. I mean, look, honestly, Funchy, anything feels believable for Sacramento. Like, it feels believable to me that they would extend.
They're once a respectable franchise.
Dude, we're like a year removed from Light the Beam. How did this fall apart so quick?
I have no clue.
It's because they messed up by letting go of Mike Brown.
Yes. Or Michael Malone.
Ooh,
a lot of coaches.
All right, so since we're, we are the show of. I was going to say, since we're the show of
ball knowers,
I have a little game. We just mentioned Dennis Schroeder.
Mm-hmm.
He has played for 11 teams.
I know.
11 teams. That's a third of the NBA. So I'm going to make you guys guess all the teams, all 11 teams. You guys get 3 strikes.
Okay. I will begin with the Lakers.
There's 1.
The Rockets.
There is 2.
The Oklahoma City Thunder.
There is 3.
The Raptors.
There is 4. Wrong one. Sorry.
What was that supposed to be?
It was supposed to be a dog.
I was like, the dinosaur?
No, but DeAndre's right.
Okay. He was a Brooklyn Net.
Wow, these guys are going to run a table, aren't you?
I mean,
our ball knower.
I mean, the Kings.
Kangs. The Golden State Warriors. So,
the Cavaliers.
Yeah, the Cavaliers now count. Where else has Dennis Schroeder played? Dennis Schroeder God, you got to start really thinking back now to Schroeder's career. Dennis Schroeder. Trying to be, it feels forever ago.
You guys have 3 teams to go. That's it. 3 teams.
I'm trying to remember like where Dennis Schroeder began his career. Like,
if you think about that, then I think you got something.
And I don't have a list of it. Is it okay if I pull up the standings just so I can? I'm not going to Google Dennis Schroeder.
I got another one.
Okay, go.
Celtics.
Yeah, I just need
2 more. 2 more. Let's go. Come on.
I just need a list of teams. I just need a list of teams. Dennis Schroeder has also played for...
Run the table, guys. Come on.
He has also played for the Atlanta Hawks. That's where he began his career.
1 more.
1 more.
I got it. Did he play for the Utah Jazz?
That's where
we got 2 more strikes?
2 more strikes.
2 more strikes.
Not running the table anymore. You messed it up, DeAndre.
Come on, DeAndre. Did he play for the Dallas Mavericks? Oh. We got 1 more, DeAndre.
You guys want a hint? I'll give you a hint.
Sure.
Eastern Conference team.
Eastern Conference team. Oh. The Pistons of Detroit.
Yeah,
there we go.
There you go. There you go. All 11, baby. I knew you guys won't let me down.
Well-traveled man. And by the way, that includes at least 2 stops with the Lakers.
Yes,
like,
2 stops with the Lakers.
I do not know if he is a repeat offender anywhere else, but he is a repeat offender with the Lakers. He's at least 2, not to be confused, though, with Dwight Howard, who is thrice a Laker.
Man, Dennis Schroeder about to complete the rainbow color palette over there.
It's
That's a third of the NBA. The third of the NBA.
No, they've actually done this. He's done the Roy G. Biv. Like, they've figured out that he's done the red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, violet. Like, the whole color spectrum, they've figured it out. He's done the whole thing. Thank you to everybody tonight for listening, whether you were watching, whether you were viewing, whether you're doing a little bit of both. Tonight on Lakers Talk, very much appreciated. Thank you to Yovan Buha, Buha's Block, the Lakers Collective, for swinging by. Thanks to Graham and the other kids in the back. I can't see anyone else if they're back there, but thank you. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. Thanks to Funchy. Thanks to DeAndre. And we will be back next Wednesday, the 11th, 6 to 8, reacting to games, reacting to what they did not do at the deadline. Lakers Talk, 710 ESPN.
It's DeMarco Farr and Travis Rogers for your afternoon drive.
Chris Canty's Super Bowl champion, too.
I know Canty. Big fella.
I think he's got 2 rings, right? But you only have 1.
I thought it was 1.
I think he has